and going through like a full production right now. So we're gonna go ahead and do this video today. There is not going to be a live tomorrow, but I wanted to check in today, and just have like a little accountability, just honesty, talk, give updates, and also have a honesty, just come to Mother, Father, God, Goddess moment right now. So as far as the narcotic substances and drinking and smoking the weed, um, everything is still the same. Today is what? It's 3 weeks, but from Tuesday to Tuesday is 8 days. So 8 times 3, so 24 days, no weed. And today is a month, um, no alcohol. Wow, I ain't had a drink in a month. Oh. I haven't had a drink in a month, and normally that's the one that I really feel the least guilty about is having a cocktail. But I ain't had a drink. I haven't had none of that in a month. Now I did do medicinally. I went on a mushroom journey Sunday, and it was for medicinal reasons. Like I really wanted to uncover some things about the work that we're doing right now, and a lot of things was affirmed for me. Like I took a spiritual bath. I got in the tub at like 1 o'clock, and I stayed in the tub till probably like 6 o'clock, and I just went on this journey. I burnt candles, I prayed, yeah, and I went on this journey, and a lot of things were revealed for me and affirmed for me about how to move forward in um, alchemizing and manifesting this reality, that we are developing. First you got to visualize things. You got to visualize things first to bring them into fruition. So we are in the we're at first we were just honoring our ancestors. I think that that's where we've been, is like acknowledgement and honoring, and now it's time to like visualize and manifest. And I think that that's the phase of consciousness we are in as a collective, as it regards creating, like visualizing the PurpleVerse, manifesting the PurpleVerse. And for those of you who are joining the membership, we have, oh, hold on, let me, I forgot this would be the one dead on me. So for those of you who are joining the membership, for those of you who are getting a membership to join the PurpleVerse, yeah, that content is going to be amazing. And I want to use the black light a lot in that content, just to let y'all know. I want to use the black light in that content a lot, because that symbolizes that Laylim Layla is still in the womb. Like we're still in the womb part of creation. Like Laylim Layla is still in the pregnant phase. Like Laylim Layla exists amongst us spiritually, but to bring it into for it to become alive in our body, and for us to start seeing beings who are walking in that, who are talking that talk and walking that walk. Like for that to, for Laylim Layla, for purple ones to take on physical forms, and for the physical manifestations to exist. That is the phase that we're in now. Like I think that a lot of us, who have been practicing this for years, like I know I try to walk it like I talk it, and I feel like empathy has come a long way. I definitely feel like Purple Prodigy is a whole one, and we are doubling down on just being as concrete as we can to try to model that for future beings, and also beings who may walk amongst us and may not feel comfortable to say they are amongst us. It's just like, aliens living amongst people. A lot of people are whole, but they just don't feel safe enough to say they whole. Just like, throughout time, it's been like that. It's been black people who was able to pass for white, and they didn't feel safe enough to say that they wasn't white, so they passed for white. It's been people that could pass for being male. I mean, passed for being male and was scared to say they was female because there wasn't a safe space to be a female. It's been beings who could pass for female, and it wasn't a safe space to say that you were male because you look so female. And so, like, creating a reality and nurturing a reality where beings feel comfortable, like sometimes we can't. It's like we can't process aliens walking amongst us, but literally we can see it in society how what matters the most is a safe environment. When an environment feels safe, then people feel comfortable with saying who they are and walking fully in who they are. I was watching a video, and I'm gonna go ahead and cite the source because I'm not gonna be messy. Um, T.S. Madison was doing a video with Sexy Lexi from the ballroom scene, and Sexy Lexi made the comment that trans girls, a lot of trans, she said when they transition, well, when we transition, because this is my time, like this was my generation. I am 48, I'm older than her, she's 43. Me and Madison the same age. When we transitioned to be women. We didn't transition to be trans. And I really feel like it's important to have a conversation about why we transition to be women. And, Lexi was saying that's the conversation the girls don't want to have. But I think a lot of girls who transition to be women don't want to have a deep enough and a nuanced enough conversation about why you transition to be a woman. Because you damn sure didn't transition to be a woman for all the privileges. You damn sure didn't transition to be a woman because you was going to be the president of the United States or the Pope. You damn sure didn't transition to be a woman because you was finna be the ruling the world, commanding armies and whatnot have you. You transition to be a woman, and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have no problem with the girls coming in the comment section and having their differences of opinion. But this is me speaking for me. I transitioned because I wanted to be safe. I was more like a woman. I was not like men. I did not fit into what it meant to be a man. I did not fit into that box. And it was not safe to just transition to be trans. It wasn't safe to be more feminine than masculine, and it wasn't safe to fall in the middle. It wasn't safe to create your own gender. It wasn't safe to have your own identity, especially as a black person, especially as a black and indigenous person. It was not safe to say, you know what, I'm just going to stop right here. And so we have to be accountable about everything that went with that choice. Like, I am not putting that down because I understand that it's about survival and it's about safety. But at the same time, because a lot of us were transitioning to fit into the space of women and to identify as women and to fit into that space, we were not doing any inner work. Most of what we were doing was learning how to mimic and piggyback off of cis women stories, off of female stories, and ad lib with some embellishments when it came to the aesthetic, with the look. Yeah, you did a little bit more with your hair, a little bit more with your makeup. What was your individual story, and what was the nuance of your story? Like, we didn't tell our stories. We didn't communicate our stories. We didn't have our own narratives. We were just basically an adjacent to cis women's narratives. That's why when you say you transition to be a woman, you transition to be a a a stand-in, to make a cameo in the world of cis women. You transition to have a cameo, to be a filler, to be a stand-in, and to not necessarily have your own narrative. And that is worth studying, because now with the issues that we're dealing with today, this is why this generation is out here running amok, and can't really get much guidance from us, because a lot of us don't know how to do nothing but imitate cis people. A lot of us don't know how to do nothing but mimic heteronormity. I wish I had some gunshot sound effects. We were in survival so long that we don't have real tools to give to this generation, because how do we evolve if we continue to transition? This is why we weren't prepared to defend ourselves against all of this stuff that happened politically. We weren't in a position to speak for ourselves. We didn't have the language. We was basically taking the language that they was giving us, and that was the setup right there. But we didn't have our own language, our own communication. You let most of these older girls get in front of the mic and talk, and they're gonna parakeet the same shit. I transitioned to be a woman. I know I'm not a real woman. I know I'm not a biological woman. I know I'm not a woman, but I transitioned to be a woman. Okay, so what does that say to the government? What does that say to doctors? What does that say to logical people who are scholars and academics? Like, what is that saying to them? I transitioned to be a woman. And then turning around and saying, but you know you're not a biological woman. So why should we let you into women's spaces? Why should we respect you as a woman? Why should we make space for you in women's spaces? Like, how do you have that conversation if you're literally sitting up here shaming trans people for transitioning not to fit into those boxes that they've already been told you don't belong, you'll never fit, this space wasn't created for you. You don't have the wherewithal to support your siblings who are saying, you know what, I don't want to be the stand-in, I don't want to be the seat filler, I don't want to be the extra, I don't want to make a cameo. Y'all had to do that for y'all survival. We don't want to do that. This generation don't want to do that. You don't have any wisdom to give them because you're still in survival mode. You're still in let's play pretend. You're still in the role of I'm making a cameo, I'm a seat filler, I'm trying to fly under the radar. You're still in that mode. So what do you have to offer this generation that can help them when they're dealing with the government, when they're dealing with politicians, when they're dealing with doctors, when they're going into the doctor's office, when they're talking to psychiatrists, when they're talking to clinicians, when they're accessing those spaces? What do you have to offer them that gives you value as a human being, not just a knockoff of a cis woman or a knockoff of a cis man? Why do you deserve access to these spaces that were made for these halflings? And why are you fighting so hard to get the next? It's given. It's given. You was picked, and you trying to teach another generation how to be picked. And part of me understands it. Part of me, as a nurturer, I understand. We want to protect the next generation. We want to keep the next generation safe. But baby, it's been proven time and time again throughout history that no battle is ever won without sacrifice, without suffering, without bloodshed, without casualties. My grandmother used to say all the time, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And so instead of imbuing and praying for guidance and protection and trying to alchemize that reality, you still trying to get the children to play hide and seek. And if they continue on playing hide and seek, they're never going to be able to speak to who they are as an individual if they constantly trying to fit into these boxes that they never going to articulate who they are for themselves. They never going to be able to stand in front of a judge or stand in front of a lawyer or stand in front of a courthouse or stand in front of a church or stand in front of a government and be able to articulate who they are in a way that makes sense mentally, emotionally, and spiritually if we keep on with this I transition to be a woman narrative. Cause you transitioned to be a woman because you were doing sex work, baby. You transitioned to be, and I'm not. This is not for a specific person. This is collective wise. You transition because when we started our transition, men wasn't picking up girls that look like bricks. But but as time went on and men figured out that yeah, you soft and you pretty and that piece not working, he said as he got used to getting that piece, he was like, oh no, I like that piece. I'ma go ahead and see what this bricky girl do. Cause that look like it work. So when we was first going on the block, like when I first got out there on the block, yeah, they liked the soft girls. They liked the fishy girls. They liked the girls who looked at soft and fishy. But in the course of that time, I want to say when I got close to my they liked the fishy girls, and they only liked the fishy girls because they could pick you up without getting clocked. Because it wasn't safe for men to be picking up someone who looked like a man. Getting caught in the car with another man, someone who looked masculine, homosexuality was a crime. Sodomy was a crime. So they started picking up the softer girls because they didn't want to get caught with no man. But then as time started progressing, they was like, and people started becoming more open and it started to be safer. They started taking their chances with the bricky girls again. But if you ask me, what they wanted in the beginning was a gay boy. The trans girls only became a commodity because it was safer if you had to get your fix. If you really, really just had to get your fix of penis. You had to get something in your mouth and in your booty. You wanted a trans girl. You pick up a trans girl so you could be able to play with that candy cane and be able to get that pickle and nobody be none the wiser. It was a way for you to get your fix, and if you got caught, if that girl was passable, you could get your fix and you not be persecuted or harmed for being a part of homosexual sex. This is the conversation that a lot of trans girls don't want to have. Y'all are trying to make it look like they was picking us over the gay boys and they chose us over the gay boys. But why were they choosing us over the gay boys though? A lot of times they weren't choosing us over the gay boys because they was just so in love with femininity and they was so in love with womanhood. They was choosing us over the gay boys because you could get persecuted if you got caught with a gay boy. You can get in trouble, you got caught with a gay boy. That homosexual stuff will get you stoned and beat and locked up. Sodomy. But if you with a girl who passing for a girl, they would use the girls. They would say, okay, well, she fishy and she still got that penis. I'ma go ahead and settle for this. It's the conversation y'all don't want to have. They were settling for the girls. We transitioned so we could be safe, and they chose the girls so they could be safe. But they really wanted a butch queen. They really wanted that boy pussy. And as time got safer, they started to be with the harder boys because they knew they could go ahead and that thing was going to be thangin'. That thing that wasn't going to be no malfunctions brought on by the hormones. Wasn't going to be no malfunctions. That thing was going to be thangin'. It was going to be standing up like a mighty oak in the forest. They knew that. And that's what they wanted. So I'm not living under this delusion with y'all anymore that they was out here choosing trans women, all of them. They was out here choosing trans women because we were so fishy and they was so in love with us and they was so enamored by us. No, they knew society accepted that. They knew that that did not upset the natural order of things. In order for a man to be able to claim his masculinity publicly, he needs to align himself with a female with which he can rule over, control in order to assert his dominance. He needed to be ruling over a woman. He needed to be inside of a household, being the head of the house. He needed to be doing that. That needed to be happening somewhere. It needed to be happening. It needed to be a reality. In order for these men to establish their dominance and be respected as a man for society's sake. Now, let's be clear. They got some gay men that are way more dangerous, way more harmful, way more violent than straight men. They got some gay men who straight up monsters, who straight up thoroughbred non-alivers. I am by no means saying that gay men are weak. If you ask me behind the scenes, I think gay men somewhere like this. Especially the masculine ones. I think they somewhere like this. Because I wouldn't be surprised if they was the mastermind behind a lot of this shit. The masculine gays. The masculine gays. The top macho looking gays. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Because the advantage that they have is they're not attracted to women. But they can pull them. If they want one, they could get one. No problem. They got some gay men that's so fine they could tell a woman that they gay. They could eat a dick in front of a woman's face and she's still gonna go for it. They got some gay men that's so fine they could pull their dick out of booty hole with peanut butter on the end of that and put it in her mouth and in her coochie. And she'll go for it. She'll eat that Nutella. Trans women too, they'll do it. A gay man could line them all up in the room. A feminine butch queen, a trans woman, a trans man, and and a cis woman. Line them all up in the room. Gay as I don't know what, have all of them. Put Nutella in her mouth, put Nutella in her coochie, put Nutella in his coochie, put Nutella in his mouth, put Nutella in her booty, put Nutella in her mouth. Nutella all around. Have everybody holds a circle like a margarita with salt around the rim, Nutella around the rim, Nutella around your mouth, Nutella. God got it. You know I ain't lying. You know I ain't lying. So I'm not living in this world anymore where trans femmes tell ourselves that lie that the reason why men choose us is because we so. Yeah, they choose us because we fish, but it's not the flex you think it is. The whole while he with you, in his mind, he's doing the same thing that he does when he with that cis woman. I'd rather be with you. I'd rather be with you. Ooh, yeah. Said I'd rather be with you. I'd rather be with you. Ooh, yeah. The while he with that cis woman, he fantasizing about a trans woman, and while he with that trans woman, he fantasizing about a butch queen. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. While he with that cis woman, he fantasizing about a trans woman. And while he with that trans woman, he fantasizing about a butch queen. So, all that, and every now and then, if that butch queen put a wig on, don't let it be a feminine butch queen. You know how many grown men I know, like masculine men, nothing feminine about them, nothing gay about them, nothing queer about them. Heterosexual men been married to women for 20 and 30 years. All of them I know, masculine men, straight men, married to cis women, been in cis relationships for 20 and 30 years, tell me that they like trans women and feminine boys. There's never been a differentiate. They don't differentiate. It's not a difference for them. Because as a trans girl, you have to realize that if you don't have access to hormones, if you don't have access to make the changes, what are you? If you don't have access, if you're living in a country that does not, like, say for example, you living in a certain parts of Africa where you cannot medically transition, Aesthetically, you're going to show up as a feminine boy. Does that make you any less trans? Men know that. And they're reading energy. They're with you for your energy. They're not with you for those body parts. That's cute to play with, but a man could go and get, you know how sophisticated these blow up dolls is. Do you know how sophisticated a blow up doll is? Then, if you a butch queen and you don't want to take hormone therapy, you could literally go and buy you an expensive breastplate, put that breastplate on, and let him hit you from the back and play with your breastplate. Buy you a nice expensive ass breastplate, put that breastplate on in the bedroom. Let him jug off in them cookies in the dark, and then in the daytime he your homeboy. But at nighttime, got on a full lace and a breastplate. Now, bitch, that's the best of both worlds. Because if you just started physically changing your body regarding the penis, he can dip over into the other world. But he could do the same thing with a female pagan. If he really want the best of both worlds, he want that flat chest and that six pack. Then you put on that breastplate and give him some of that let him take a dip in that Nutella jar. Let me stop. But yeah, I just started, I was cracking a joke. I was having some fun, but I'm being serious again now though. I do feel like there's a real conversation that needs to happen about why trans femmes our age transition. I feel like there's a real conversation that needs to happen about why we transition. And I think we need to stop saying I transition to be a woman. Because if you're gonna say that, then let's talk about why you transition to be a woman. Let's talk about why you felt the need to transition to be a woman. And I want to defer back to the beginning of the video. You did not transition to be a woman because of all the privileges you was going to get. You didn't transition to be a woman because you was going to make more money than a man. Because the glass ceiling wasn't going to apply to you. You didn't transition to be a woman because of all of the the lucrative business opportunities you were gonna. You transitioned to be a woman because it was safer, because you lean more to your feminine. You were always getting clocked. You were so feminine as a butch queen. You were so feminine you couldn't hide it. The safest bet for you to do was to go ahead and embrace your femininity, to go ahead and embrace the woman in you. And because society did not accept you being half and half, or you falling somewhere in the middle, you went on ahead and committed to that shit. Because you was a black trans woman and you knew you couldn't play with it. You knew if you did not commit to it, you could end up missing, get bottles pitched at you. You knew you were susceptible to all kind of things. So you committed. You had to commit. You 30 years ago, 20, 30 years ago, you could not transition to be trans. $30 years ago. More likely 30 years ago. Because 20 years ago was around the time when the shenanigans started. But 30 years ago, 40 years ago, the girls was not transitioning to be trans. And the reason why is because, bitch, it wasn't safe. You couldn't even imagine that world. You were in survival mode. You were trying to hurry up and get to the other side. You couldn't imagine a world where it was safe to be walking around here fish but not fish enough not to get a brick pitched at me. Tuna but not tuna enough to get jumped by a gang of boys. Cunty but not cunty enough not to have to mace a whole busload of trade for playing with you on public transportation. You didn't have that luxury to vision a world where you didn't need to be that serious about. And because we didn't do that work, they're doing that work now. And the only advice they're getting from y'all is, I didn't transition to be trans, I transitioned to be a woman. And y'all sound like the cis people. If you gonna look like that, you shouldn't be in the women's bathroom. If you gonna look like that, you shouldn't be around young children. Y'all sound like cis people. Y'all sound like the halflings. Like, because somebody does not look binary or somebody does not look normal, they all of a sudden a pervert. You can look weird as a motherfucker. That don't make you weird. Don't y'all know not to judge a book by their cover? It's the one in the business suits. They the ones doing all the stuff. Trump was. It ain't no Boy George looking people, no Grace Jones looking, Prince looking, Michael Jackson looking people. Well, the jury is out on Michael Jackson. But it's not no queer looking people running around here doing on Epstein Island. And so when y'all uphold that rhetoric, it's insane. You shouldn't be around children with a beard and a wig on. But you trust all of these business suits and politicians around your children. But you trust all of these preachers who have been documented doing this stuff. You trust all of them around your children. But you worried about somebody with a beard and titties around your children. You worried about a non-binary queer person who is literally being open about who they are, who are not hiding who they are. You're worried about the person that's walking in their truth, not trying to hide it. So what y'all really saying is y'all don't care about children. You just care that the predators don't look like predators. That's what I'm getting. Continue. Keep on doing what you're doing. But you know if you're going to be doing that to these children, you need to blend in. You can't be drawing all that attention to yourself now. Get your predator look together. I don't need you giving first time walking a ball for sexual assault. You can't be doing that. I need you to be an icon. It needs to be given icon. It needs to be given legendary. I've been doing this. That's what it's giving me. That's what it's reading for me. Y'all weird. Y'all weird. I don't care if you got a beard and breast. I don't care if you got an afro and some Daisy Duke shorts on with a goatee. I don't care. As long as you are not touching and exposing young children to inappropriate conversation, and you are not touching them inappropriately. I don't, as long as you ain't got your piece hanging out, your booty cheeks hanging out, your areolas hanging out, cause we live in a highly sexualized society, so there's some work that needs to be done around that. Because I am not opposed to being free with your body, but we do live in a westernized society, so there's some work that has to be done before we could even go back to like being that free with our bodies. Because unfortunately, in westernized culture, the body has been heavily sexualized, and so I don't think that children should be exposed to certain body parts. I don't think that they should be exposed to certain conversations, and I don't think that they should be exposed to somebody trying to touch them or coax them inappropriately. But ma'am, if you want to wear wigs and you look like a brick, if you are a queer masculine person and you don't have top surgery and you have a beard, and I'm not policing that. Cause next thing y'all know, y'all gonna be telling women with hair in their face they need to shave. Y'all gonna be telling cis women that you need to shave that. You confusing the children. You're going to be telling men who don't grow no facial hair and who grow long hair and who have naturally soft features, you need to cut your hair. You need to take you a testosterone shot. You don't look masculine enough. Y'all going to be trying to tell people, cis people, how to look. And that's crazy. That's why y'all got all of them laying on the table not having all these surgeries. Because this done went too far. Now, if you have a certain aesthetic you want that work for you, then go for it, boo. By all means, do you, boo. Doing a as long as they pull that tragic one out and get to waving it, then everyone good and satisfied. A lot of halflings are sexually attracted to predator and pedophile wiener. It's all about protecting and upholding, yet using predators as easy scapegoat so it can excuse their sadistic and bizarre ways and behaviors. You better say that. Yeah, so I just wanted to come on here and do a brief venting session. Let y'all know that I will not be. I don't know, Chad. I'm saying I'm not going to do a live tomorrow. I might change my mind. But if I don't do a live tomorrow, this is that live. We're getting ready to release the Pantheon. We're getting ready to release the Pantheon, baby. I am so excited. Nadia told me that the Pantheon is in the Google Drive now. So I'm getting ready to release the Pantheon. Now, let me explain to y'all again how this Pantheon is going to go. Now, I'm going to release the Pantheon to the Laugh channel. But I'm not going to release it to the Laugh channel first. Well, this is going to be the full, like, the explanation for the Pantheon. When I get ready to do the explanation for the Pantheon, I am going to share it to the membership first. to give people who want to support a chance to get a first look. Y'all gonna get a glimpse for free. You're gonna get a free glimpse. Everybody's getting a free glimpse. Now, when we start to explain the characters, when I start to put the story with each character and let y'all dig into the storyline behind each of them, because that is more work, we are going to we're going to put that we're going to put that in the membership. And then we're going to, so that's not going to be, the full story is not going to be available on my Instagram. It's not going to be available on TikTok, but everybody's getting the trailer. Everybody's getting the trailer is going to be available everywhere. But the full narrative, and because a lot of effort went into the trailer, I was going to try to release the full narrative within a week. I mean, tomorrow, but I'm not going to do that because we put a lot of love on this trailer. Now, when you see Corin, Corin is the male version of Cora. So Cora and Corin is the same. Cora likes to manifest as a male, and Cora likes to manifest as a female. All of them have the potential to do it, but Cora does it a lot. Cora gets her life. Cora loves manipulating people and controlling people. So if Cora have to manifest as a man to get what she wants, she'll do it. If Cora have to manifest as a woman to get what she wants, she'll do it. So the reason why Cora is actually, you're getting to see Cora, it almost look like they twins, but Cora is the one who shapeshifts between gender more than all of them. Okay. Baroness likes to be her animal form, like less human, like like less human, and spend more time in the ocean. So Baroness has a form that is not humanoid at all and just completely sea turtle and octopus. But um so you understand, when you see these beings, none of these beings look human. All of these beings are hybrid animal humanoid forms. These are their primordial forms. But as we continue to develop them, now some of them do look more human. I'm gonna be clear. Some of them do have human features, like Corin does have human features. Um Nympha has human features. Um yeah, Baroness has a human face in her human form. So some of them do have human forms, human likenesses, but a lot of them are giving you like straight hybrid animals, mixed between animals. So this is the PurpleVerse, the Laylim Layler Pantheon. It is 9 primordial beings, 10 if you count the other side of Corin, but you know they really one. Like you'll never see them both at one time. Although I do think they have the potential to split. So we're getting ready to release the trailer. The trailer is going to be available shortly after this video on all platforms. I'm gonna work on getting that uploaded to y'all right now. I am so excited. Anadia did an amazing job editing this. Anadia designed all of the characters and edited it. Empathy took the lyrics that I did the other day, the We Are All Becoming a Dream, the song that I did, and I shared it to my story. Empathy took that and turned that, had gave it to AI, and did some magic with it, and it sounds like an indigenous song. It's so beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. Made a beat to go with it. So Empathy, I help with the lyrics, but Empathy really like re-engineered the voice, the beat, the sound, everything. So Empathy did played a huge part in the music. Empathy actually helped to bring the characters to life. Um, Anadia designed the characters, but Empathy got them all to move. You know, got each one of them to move. So Empathy was in the animation part. Anadia conceptualized, Prodigy conceptualized the beings. And how I contributed to that was I picked the hybrid beings they would be. And then Anadia brought those beings to life based on what hybrids I told her they were. And then Empathy animated all of the beings. So we all played a hand in the visual concept. Empathy did music. Anadia did editing. I directed it. You know how long each moment would be. Um, just the vision of how I wanted it to look, and I feel like um, Anadia being the editor, she definitely played a part in the vision. Because there was times where she was like, "No, I want this over here," and I was like, "No, I want this over there," and so we had to compromise. But so yeah, but this was birthed out of a story that I wrote last year about Infantara. So this will be your first look at Infantara, which are the pantheons, the nine primordial beings of Laylim Layler, of our spiritual practice. Um, and these are beings that are a part of all of us. Like I definitely see myself in all of them. Um, they are ancestors that we definitely all can relate to. I can't wait for y'all to witness the pantheon. I can't wait for y'all to see it. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Like last year, these were words on a paper, and this year we are looking at them in motion, moving. So exciting, child. We was in here hugging and laugh, like we was so like it's been so much joy between us. Like the phone conversations. We have a group chat called Purpletron, and Purpletron is like Voltron. You know how like Voltron was made up of, or like the Power Rangers would form this being, like they would be separated, but then they would form this powerful, mighty bigger being. So we call ourselves Purpletron because when we come together, we create this bigger, mightier being. So we become one, and it's called the Purpletron. So we've been our Purpletron group and like and collectively talking about our visions and creating and seeing where we are now, with this process. And so we're gonna let the trailer stand for about a week, and then by next week we're gonna give a more extended, elaborate story. We definitely are gonna need more resources so that we can start to give full stories with these beings because that's where we want to go. The storylines are already here, waiting to come out. Um, I am excited to announce that one of my plays that I wrote will be used next month, and it's going to be a radio play, and it's going to be airing in New York. It was an amazing opportunity. Um, and I'm just excited. Like next month, I'm literally gonna be in New York because I have to go back. That's where I'm primary. That's where my housing is at, and so I have to go back there to handle some business for some other things. But while I'm there, I'm gonna be working on the play. Not only did I write the play, I'm gonna be playing one of the characters in the radio play, and I got this opportunity being a part of a cohort for Black trans women. So I'm really excited about this opportunity. Not just because it's a, it's a paid opportunity, but because of the opportunity. And the art is something that's spewing from me because of the work that we've been doing with Laylim Layler. And so like I'm really just tapping into my spirituality, and I'm in this place of where it's just all coming out. And I'm so happy to have these opportunities where I can express from where I am, and we can start to imagine our own world. Like how these people be Trekkies and they be so in love with Star Trek, or they be so like they worship Star Trek and they be just so in love with Star Trek, or they be Star Wars, they be so in love with Star Wars that they just like cosplay Star Wars and they just make a whole reality. How motherfuckers be about Beyonce, worshiping Beyonce like Beyonce a goddess, and like how people be behind just Harry Potter, like how people be behind all of this stuff, and how it shapes their life, and how it's affects their moral compass and the decisions that they make. Like a lot of people live this, like, and that's what life is about. It's about finding art that you resonate with so much that it grounds you and it helps you in your day-to-day life. And so I'm just happy that Purple thought that the PurpleVerse can be that thing. What about a crossover Star Trek? What about a crossover Star Trek War Star? I don't know. I'm not that invested. Like literally, I can tell you, like, I'm excited about the PurpleVerse. I'm excited about this pantheon, and I'm excited for y'all to see these characters, and I'm excited that this came out of the minds of three black trans femmes, three black indigenous trans femmes, one from Chicago, one from Texas, and one from Louisiana. Period. So I'm all Geminis. Hecate. Triple Gemini. So I'm very excited about this. I'm very excited about this. I can't wait for y'all to see it and understand that these deities are not perfect. They are not, like, we're not telling a story as if they're perfect. Like, they are not perfect. But together, they are unstoppable. Like, collectively, they are unstoppable. But individually, all of them got their own shit. Like, all of them is a mess. So let's be clear. That's what the Laylim Layler Pantheon is about. It's about exploring and honoring the mess. But our mess is what makes us special, because a lot of the things that you would see problematic with them, or that you would take an issue with them, are the things that make them special, are the things that give them their power. Like, their power is rooted in their problematicness. Like, if it wasn't for their problems, if it wasn't for the things that people would perceive to be off, they wouldn't have that. Like, their power wouldn't be what it is. So like, that's the complexity of existing and being, is that your mess is your magic. My God is God on today. That's the word. Your mess is your magic. How is everyone doing and feeling today or tonight? Peace, love, respect, um, honor from UK and the world and the universe itself towards everyone. Yeah, I'm from the UK. We call everyone dude or guy. I even call girls man sometimes. I don't mean anything by it, my bad. Oh my goodness. Like, that, it makes sense. That tracks. Y'all are extremely patriarchal. Like, y'all just want to absorb everything into the patriarch, huh? Everything is a man, huh? Manly man. Bitch. Your mess is your magic. That's right. Let me see. Pen. Yeah, so that is a rap. Wait, Robert, all good. It's a man's world over there, right? But yeah, so we're excited. Let me get off this live because I'm trying to sneak. I'm trying to sneak and eat me a trying to sneak and have me like I only have like this raw cabbage for dinner. Cause that was the other thing I wanted to say. So I was supposed to be on the tea and water diet this week. That was not realistic. That was not realistic at all. Um but I have been doing a lot better. Like I can be perfectly honest. Like I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna hold y'all. Like I have been eating a lot less. Yesterday I had what did I eat yesterday? Yesterday I had a salad. I made you them beans yesterday. I made you them beans the day before yesterday, huh? I had a salad yesterday, and what else did I have? So obviously, if I'm struggling with remembering what I ate, that mean I ain't been eating that much. But today I had some noodles. I had a pack of noodles, and I had some Ezekiel raisin bread, and I had a vegan chicken patty, and that's the only thing that I've eaten today. So but yesterday I think I had like the day before that. No, yesterday I had a bowl of cereal. Yeah, yesterday I had a big bowl of cereal and I had a banana for dinner, and that was the only thing that I ate yesterday. And the day before yesterday, I had like a saucer of these beans that I made. So like I literally had two tablespoons of rice and 2 tablespoons of beans, and I had like this little half a cornbread piece, and I had a salad, and that was like literally. And then for breakfast, I had some tofu, and I had some toast. I had some raisin bran toast, and like literally, that's all that I've probably eaten in the last 3 days. But I do feel like it's not realistic because my stomach hasn't shrunk. And now I'm getting hungry. Okay, cool. You've been working. What you been working with? Uh, Nah, it's just how we talk. We don't mean anything by it. What have you all been up to? So, yeah. So pretty much, like I feel like I'll be ready for. Like I feel like my stomach, cause like you gotta shrink your stomach down. Like you can't just dive into drink tea and water. Like I could, but I wouldn't last as long as I want to last. Like I could probably do 2 or 3 days with tea and water, but I wouldn't last as long as I want to last. Like I would be like, fuck this shit, I'm about to eat. Like so I feel like I need to continue to eat smaller and smaller and smaller portions until I trick my stomach and I'm like, okay, well, girl, you had 2 tablespoons of this and then you had a slice of toast for breakfast. So the next day, just, instead of like start off with 2 slices, then the next day is 1 slice of toast. And you have 1 slice of toast for breakfast. And then you have like a small bowl. And then the next day you get down to an even smaller bowl, and then the next day you get down to 1 slice of toast. And then the next day you're like, you know what? I could go without the toast altogether. And then the next day you're like, and then the next day you're like, okay, I could do half of what I had yesterday. Like I feel like that is the way to do it, not like just jumping from eating a full meal to being like, no, I'm gonna go without food. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Very wise. I'm happy that you're doing it the intelligent and healthy way. Well, who is this Robert? Like you're interesting. You're very interesting. But yeah, so So yeah, let me get off this live because I'm trying to sneak and eat. I'm trying to sneak and make another piece of, or I'm trying to sneak and make me a piece of hot water cornbread to go with this raw cabbage, this raw purple cabbage that I made yesterday. So I'm gonna do like a purple cabbage salad, and I want to have me like a piece of hot water cornbread to go with that bitch. And I got a window in which I can eat. Like I need to eat before 6:30, and it's 6 o'clock now. So let me go ahead and get off this live, so I could go up in here and get my chew on, and I'm gonna release this pantheon or just blend it all up. Go be chewing and nibbling. Okay, well, I'm going to subscribe to you. Hopefully, I can catch you on here again. Take care, everyone. Oh, YouTube. All right, well, y'all have a beautiful evening. We will talk soon. Lay Nation, Purple Ones, rise. Later.